in real estate, girls in real estate. Oh, where we gone for happy hour?
Hello everyone, this is Bees in Business. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Beth,
We're coming to you from
Tycoon Media Lounge.
Girls in real estate, girls in real estate. Oh, where we gone for happy hour?
Hi, I'm Beth.
And I'm Brenda, and welcome back to Bees in Business. Although I have a question for you, Beth. Are you gonna wear the sunglasses?
I am their hair accessory. I'm having a bad hair day, and I like to wear sunglasses on top of my head rather than on my face.
Okay.
To
Just want to
push
make
the
sure
hair
that you knew that you had them on your head.
yes, and I think I look fabulous. Anyway,
Anyways, today we're joined by Todd Anderson, as most of you might know him by. He is a commercial real estate portfolio manager at NGP Group, and Todd oversees more than 30 properties throughout the country and works closely with third-party managers to ensure everything runs smoothly, fiscally and operationally. NGP has over 100 properties nationally across 3 funds and focuses on long-term partnerships with the GSA, leasing space to federal government across the U.S.
Todd's path into real estate was anything but typical. He was born in Waycross, Georgia, and moved to Northern Virginia in high school. Then he served in the Air Force and eventually made DC home for the past 35 years. With a degree in psychology from the University of Maryland and a deeply grounded approach to personal growth, Todd brings a thoughtful human lens to the business that often is anything but personal.
When he's not managing a national portfolio, you might find him on the golf course. I think he has a wall. I haven't been lucky enough to make the wall just yet. Although we've golfed a couple times though, right, Todd?
Yeah, just haven't taken pictures, but I feel that's about to change.
Oh, yeah.
So golfing, cycling, taking black and white photos, or simply savoring a great cup of coffee. All right, let's dive in. Todd, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. I liked the toddy. That's usually what I refer to myself on the golf course.
Yeah, that's where I got
after a bad shot.
Come on, Toddy.
You know exactly. I just realized when I was on the treadmill this morning what B&B is all about. It's Beth and Brenda. I'm
Yeah.
like, what a thing, right?
I'm trying to figure out what the B
How,
stood for.
how about that?
Bees
so,
in business.
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, that's a win for me today. So I started the day off right,
Yes.
Perfect.
and I ate breakfast too. So.
All right, let's get into it.
Girls in real estate.
So you've held roles across some of the most recognizable firms in the DC area. What first drew you to commercial real estate, and what kept you in the industry for nearly 2 decades?
I needed a job, to be perfectly honest. God, what day was it? I remember it was December 6th, like 2007. I was previously I was doing some project management work. I was doing short-term temping as well. And then they called me and they were like, "Hey, we've got this assignment. It's a property management assistant role." I had no idea what that meant. They're like, "So, it's a long-term kind of thing. We want you to be there. We think you'd be great for it. Go to this building, 2121 K Street, and report to Cheryl Talley." 19 years later, just about, I'm still doing it. I'm still in the industry, still really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. You work with a lot of different people and do a lot of different things, and that's why I still like it.
The topic that's been sort of buzzing, I think what people really want to know is that there's been a lot of conversation around declining occupancy in GSA leased properties, especially with evolving policies like the DOGE scorecard and shifting federal space requirements. How are you seeing these trends play out across your portfolio, and what impact are they having long term on the strategy?
Sorry, before you start, also, can you explain a little about what the Doge scorecard is for the people who don't know? Wink, wink. I don't know a lot about it.
I think I can give like the most simple answer because I feel like it changes often, but truthfully, The scorecard is all about discovering the inefficiencies throughout the government and the different areas of it. So that is the quick and dirty on what that scorecard is. A lot of people don't necessarily like that because it's like, well, how are things being graded, right? It's like, well, what is that made up of? I don't know. I didn't come up with it, but
Yeah.
somebody has figured out that, okay, there's waste in the government. There are things that we could be doing that's a little bit more efficient. I think everybody can agree to that.
Mhm.
And so somebody has finally come up with something where it's like, well, here's the scorecard, and we're going to do it this way. And these are the metrics. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I do think that at some point in time, those metrics may adjust just because, some of the things that they're scoring for may no longer be valid or
Over time,
just over
things
time.
change. Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
like anything, like you just kind of you tweak it as it goes.
Right.
Okay. Um, to answer your question in regards to across the board, where I'm seeing that, truthfully, in my portfolio, you know, what's happening is we are seeing more people coming back to properties. Okay, so I happen to oversee 30 plus properties around the country, and uh, a lot of those properties, the population in the properties are going up. They're increasing.
Mhm.
Okay, that has its own things to deal with, but that's a positive because that means more people are going back to work. That means the property is being used. That means all spaces are being occupied. So, all in all, where I'm going with this is that I think Doge has been a positive in the sense of if you have properties that have been sitting vacant, okay, and you haven't had people back into your building, I think this is one aspect that has worked in the favor of people that want people back in their buildings.
Hmm.
Interesting. I think there's been a lot of, stigma behind what's actually happening. So it's interesting to hear it from you, who's like experiencing it from your properties yourself. And
Yeah.
um, I guess, people, we have to, we'll never go back to what it was before,
No.
but it sounds like people are slowly adapting to the new norm, if you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, like anybody does, and you adapt or die, as they say.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as we were talking earlier, and what has always kind of been the case, could it have been rolled out better?
Sure.
Could there have been, the everything that Doge is touching and doing, could it have been done better? Of course,
Mhm.
sure. But the fact of the matter is, now we're kind of in it, right?
Yeah.
And so, there are a lot of people who, leading up to this point, we're leading working lives, if you will,
Mhm.
in a particular way that now runs counter to what the government wants to do in terms of being back in the office space. I'm certainly not suggesting that that's right or wrong. It simply is.
I think that's a really good answer.
It's okay. I hope I remember it later.
So we like to ask on our show to all of our guests or icons, if you will.
Yes.
What's a piece of scoop that you can share that's not readily known out there in the, CRE industry? Is there anything you can share with us?
Um, Scoop wise, I think the biggest scoop is probably commercial real estate. Is just keep your eyes open because I feel like there's just a lot of change that's kind of happening. I think I don't think there's anything that you can pinpoint uh like that is a definite, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we're what, 6 months into the year, year's half over. We're still kind of like things are up in the air.
Mhm.
Nothing is settled. So the only scoop, and no one may like this answer, but I think the only scoop is that there's probably more change to come.
Right.
Eventually the dust will settle, and
Mhm.
that's on any and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But right now, I feel like you just can't necessarily say that there's any one thing that's, you know,
Yeah.
new and uh, something to uncover and it's going to go, ooh, how about that? I mean, I think I probably mentioned it in that you've got populations that are coming back. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest scoop, to be perfectly honest with you. It's like, the workforce, I mean, I see it every day driving out to at least my office. I pass CIA headquarters every day,
Mhm.
going over Canal and Chain Bridge. It sucks traffic because people are going back. I
Mhm.
see people coming into the city. So
Yeah, traffic has been crazy.
whether people like it or not, the biggest thing is that there's a lot of people coming back to the office, and probably going to be a lot more people
Right.
Yeah.
coming back to the office.
So if you recall the traffic from before,
Yeah. I mean, if you
sorry,
seriously,
headed back.
pre-COVID, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you are looking at a lot of things, and quite honestly, maybe Metro now becomes like
Mhm.
they get their ridership back.
Right.
So if anything, the biggest scoop, maybe things actually go back to normal, which is probably what I think the whole administration, all of this, wants in the first place.
Goes in real estate.
One of the trends that we've seen, here being in, Tycoon Properties is one of our sponsor, and we're sitting in this lovely podcast space. That has breeded from, post-pandemic ideologies of let's come up with new amenities, let's come up with new spaces that people can use, things that need to be in person, right? That
Right.
collaboration,
And things that make people want to come back into the
Exactly.
office. Not because you
So-
have to, but because you enjoy it. And
Yes.
how can we create that space and raise the money to create that space? I mean, loans are hard to get right now. Interest rates are high. I mean, there's so many different levels.
right.
But yeah, I think things are on the uptick.
And that's a mindset
Mhm.
shift,
Mhm.
right?
It
So
is.
you've got people, whether it's the ownership groups, whether it's the tenants themselves, somebody has to be able to set the whole thing where it's like, you want to be here. You
Yes.
want to come here.
Yes.
One, just so you can stop looking at your cat at home. But the other thing is just because this is a safe space. This is
Yeah.
a great
Right.
space. Okay. Why
Right.
not?
Exactly.
Company culture.
That's a big deal. A lot of people don't think that that's a thing, but I'm like, it is. I'm
It
like,
is.
yeah, you could work from home and probably get stuff done and whatnot, but I believe that there's value in, and people know this. It's like being able to walk down the hall,
Mhm.
being able to, hey Susie, can I just run this by you,
Right.
or whatever. It's like that is a positive that you can't replicate just by Zoom calls, but everybody knows that.
Yep.
Okay, that's nothing new.
Yeah. All right. Operations and strategy. You've led major capital projects and coordinated with dozens of vendors and engineering teams. How do you strike the right balance between financial performance, tenant satisfaction, and long-term asset value? That was a mouthful.
Yeah, it was. One, communicating. That's where everything starts.
Mhm.
Okay, so any type of project, any capex project from the get go, it's like, okay, everybody needs to understand what we're trying to get to, what we've got, what the budget is. Everything runs over budget. That's why there are change orders. What the budget is, how long the project's going to take, who's going to be affected by it, and whatnot. Okay, so your project team has to be pretty tight. Generally, you've got, your construction supervisor, your architecture, your furniture, your trades and whatnot. So everybody's got to meet, okay?
Mhm.
And everybody's got to understand that. Somebody has to typically lead all of that. So
Yeah.
somebody's got to be the ringleader, herding
Is
up
that
the
what
cat.
you are?
You know what? I mean, it's honestly, that's what I thought. That is what I thought.
Okay.
Like, part of my role was at one point in time,
Yeah.
and then I realized I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I don't know all of what these people know. So there's a reason why there's a construction supervisor,
Mhm.
because he knows what to do. He knows how to run this. So the only thing that I, as a property manager, would be there for would be to just kind of say, like, okay, um, let me know this so I can inform the tenants, because my job is to keep, especially if it's work that's happening in an occupied building,
Yeah.
I need to keep people informed of what's happening,
Right.
and if there are changes to the timeline or whatnot, or how people are going to be affected by it. And it's even more critical that I know stuff like that, especially if I'm the on-site manager because people see you all the time and they want to pull you and ask you what's happening. When is this going to be done? Why is there so much noise? Shut it down, et cetera,
Right.
et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. But fortunately, I don't do that anymore. I don't do the day to day for that.
Yeah.
But when I did do it, you just learn just through trial and error how to get better at it.
Right.
And ultimately, you just want to make the whole process as painless as possible
Yeah.
for everybody. Because it's gonna happen.
Right.
It's gonna happen. You just need to say like, I just need you to bear with me
Yeah.
or bear with us, and we'll all get through this.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to have those strong relationships with your tenants.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can kind of give you that grace and be a little more on the understanding side of whatever the situation may be.
When I first started, like the first building that I started, it was 2121 K Street. It was an 8-story building. We were adding 3 levels
Hmm.
on
Woof.
it. And that project took a year and a half. And so for a year and a half, every morning
Oof.
we had a bagel station. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
every morning. Now, it was awesome, but until when it stopped,
Yeah. Then they're like, where are the bagels?
it's like, wait, the construction's over. Of course the bagels are gone. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, but people loved it and people dealt with it. So
Yeah.
again.
and I hope this isn't too personal, but I know you've got a little construction project going on at home. Do you treat yourself
God.
to
I wish there were a
delicious
bagel station.
toasted
Oh,
bagels in the morning to soothe yourself over for the
God, you
from
should.
your home project?
I will just tell you if I try to. So first of all, downstairs in the basement, so every outlet and every extension cord, like I've got stuff plugged in all over the place, so I can't really run certain things at the same time. But yes, every now and then I'll have a nicely toasted bagel or a waffle or something like that
Yeah.
while I'm brushing my teeth over the wet bar because it's crazy,
Yeah.
but it's gonna end soon.
Yeah. Construction can be hectic for sure.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so now for the fun stuff. We've got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. The first one is, what's one lesson you wish you had learned earlier in your career?
I think I kind of alluded to it. Well, you know what? Actually, I was gonna say the one that I alluded to earlier about, it's not just on my shoulders to get it all
Mhm.
done.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is being concise and explaining to people. If people don't understand what you're trying to do,
Mhm.
it's at first I was like, God, why don't you get it? It's like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And then you realize it's like, oh, I get it. I'm the problem because I'm not explaining it well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So you become over time, you try to become more aware of just how you're trying to get things across to people because even now there are definitely, because we all just have those days. Sometimes you're trying to explain something to someone, like a boss or whatever, and it's just like it's not coming out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm dumb. I
Right.
just am not getting the words out. And so generally, I wish that I had learned early on that, not everything has to happen like boom, boom, boom. It's like
Mhm.
take the time
Mm-hmm.
to get it together, figure out what all the answers are, and then take that information, and then you'll be able to relay it to people, and
Mhm.
then so at least even if they have questions for you, you'll be prepared for it. They'll understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's something that like I've learned, and that's something like when I get calls or emails from managers about certain things, uh, um, some of the when I'm reading them, some of the times I'm looking at them like I don't understand what
Right.
this is,
Right.
Yeah.
and I will usually call them
Yeah.
because I think instead of like continuing to perpetuate this cycle instead of sending emails back, I will call them and I'm like, look, I don't understand what you're trying to say. So let's walk it through.
Mhm.
Right.
And oftentimes I tell people, tell me like I'm 5 because that makes it easy for
Right.
people.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that is a lesson that I wish I had learned early on because I probably would have pissed off a lot fewer bosses.
I think that's great advice, though. I think that
Yeah.
that's something a lot of people struggle with. I think also, like, our generation's kind of being like newer to the workforce, like still learning how to communicate in that professional setting and maybe getting frustrated because it's not clicking and trying to figure out the best way of communicating. I think that's
It's intimidating. I mean, you think about it. It's intimidating because it's like, okay, so let's say, you're a junior person or whatnot, and something, goes south
yeah.
badly, and you're the one responsible for it. So you've got to figure out what happened, what are we gonna do to rectify this, how long is it gonna take, etc. So you got to figure stuff out. And then you've got that whole part of it where you're just like, well, I got to figure this out quickly. Okay. So you
Yeah.
got to figure out how to do that, how to convey that, because for whatever reason, you tend to believe that I need to have something to these people
Right.
immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead, what that does is when you do that, it's just kind of like, well, okay, so how long is it going to take to do this? And it's like,
Right.
oh, well, I don't know. So
Right.
just take your time.
Mhm.
Right.
Take your time. That would be the thing that I wish that would be the advice that I would give to anybody.
Goes in real estate.
What is your favorite building that you've worked on and why?
Like I said earlier, 2121 K Street. It was my first building. I mean, honestly, I remember the first day I walked in. I was a property management admin. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the hell that meant. I go in and it's like I was that person. I was like, I don't know how anything works here. Like you turn on lights, I don't know how they work. I'm sure there's a switch somewhere back there. And it was great because again, we were putting 3 levels on. Um, it was a building that had great tenants in it. I got hired full time. ING, ING Clarion, ING. If you remember the famous bench with the horse or the lion on it, so that was the company that was
Cool.
there. So anyway, that was my favorite building. Sorry, 1800 Massachusetts Avenue. It was a nice building. That was fun, but 2121 K Street was my favorite.
That's
All right,
awesome.
this next one, I kind of think I know how he's gonna
I
answer
think
this
so
one,
too.
but I'm gonna ask it anyways and see what he says. All
Okay.
right, if you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing today?
Well, first, before I answer it, what do you think I'd be doing?
I mean, I think pro golf. Yeah, like I mean,
Okay. All right.
And you got it correct.
and
No. I would do sports psychology.
Oh,
I would
that's
do sports
awesome.
psychology because I love sports. I love psychology. Just I mean, I've played sports growing up all my life, and just the physical aspect of sports is one thing, but the mental side of it, and especially in golf,
Especially golf.
it's
now you're speaking to Beth's ears.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really fun for me. I play in a league. I see a lot of different mental capabilities, if you will,
And physical, probably.
and physical, and a lot of different dudes. Some people, it's just like it's just golf is hard for them because it gets into their heads.
Yeah.
Just gotta have fun.
I mean, it's a hard game.
It is.
Like anything that you do is hard. But yeah, sports psychology would be what I would do if I weren't doing this.
That's a really
Beth,
cool
you're
answer.
kind of like
I never did sports psychology. I studied sports and recreation management
Okay.
at James Madison. And so I got to learn about like facilities and coaching and leadership and sales and marketing, like all the different sections of the sports industry. We basically got to learn about sports psychology was unfortunately not one of those sections. And I always wished it would be because I think it's so interesting and it's so important. I mean, especially golf, gymnastics, like there's a lot of different types of sports that are so mental and it's just
I mean,
really
you could argue
cool.
they're all mental, right?
I
True,
would argue
exactly.
that they're all mental.
Yeah,
Yes,
even though it's
yeah.
a physical thing you're doing. like,
Yeah.
if you're not mentally
Yeah.
in it the right way.
Yeah, especially if you're playing professionally and there's so much more on the line versus just playing with your friends, then
Yeah.
yeah, Anyway.
I feel like I just tell you, maybe I don't know what kind of friends that you have, but the kind of friends I have, the mental side of it comes into it big time.
I need the
Because
sports psychologist more than
yeah,
than the
because there's
professional.
definitely money on the
Honey,
line,
like,
and
relax, man.
it's like, yeah, I'm not giving you any of those putts, and so normally the 3-footer that's given to you, you're like, I got to think about this. Okay,
Listen, that final 3 feet is make or break. Especially if you've got money, you're saying I don't typically play for money, but yeah, like I'll take that putt. What do they call it? The putt length?
oh yeah, the
Yeah,
length, the
like
leather, yeah.
yeah,
It's like, or outside the circle of
yeah.
friendship.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll take
like,
it.
there are no friends today.
Call it.
Yeah,
It's good.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Speaking of golf, we know that you love golf, obviously. When can we get on your golf wall? And what is your favorite golf course to play?
Yeah, I think I'd asked that earlier, but it's already getting really hot out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta
Yeah.
find a nice cool
A nice
day
shady,
after a
a nice shady
thunderstorm.
course.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll play like 9, or we'll play.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have 18 in me.
Okay.
We'll do 9.
I bet
Your
she's
mom.
like
Your
really
mom
good.
doesn't have not 18 in her either.
Me and my mom are the
I,
same.
I haven't played. I've played with Suzanne many times.
I know. I don't think you and I have played
We've
together.
never played. Suzanne and I are practically in the same league, like with our
True.
with our instructors.
Yeah,
but not.
I actually played in high school for a year or two.
like really good.
Wow.
I'm okay.
I actually we need to do that.
There are certain clubs that I love, and there are certain clubs I do not
Catch
like.
us on the golf course soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some bees on the golf course content.
Oh,
soon.
I like that.
Yeah.
Season 2. My favorite course locally is Whiskey Creek.
Yes, I was
haven't
just
been to
talking
that
about
one.
that the other day. I was just saying that's like the best public course.
I think so. I mean,
in the area.
I think
far.
I mean,
You're in
it's,
DC.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it's 40 minutes, but I mean, truthfully, you know, it's like Whiskey Creek, Worthington Manor. They both have great views.
Mhm.
Whiskey Creek, just at the end of the day, it's got a really great clubhouse for
Yeah.
afterwards.
Nice.
It's got a great finishing hole.
Mhm.
You know, you gotta go over water. It's a par 5. So it's a fun course.
The last time I played Whiskey Creek, it was cold. Like it was like fall.
Mhm.
And we had a random freeze, and they actually we had I think it was like an 8:30 or 9 a.m. tea time, and they pushed it back by 2 hours so that the course could warm over because it was frosted, which I didn't know. Like that's never really happened at some point in the year. You just stop playing; it's too cold outside. But it turned out to be a really nice day. But it was really cool to kind of see that luscious green
That's
land
cool.
just kind of frosted over, and then
Yeah.
it just started melting. It was a
That sounds really pretty.
hot toddies on the course.
Whoa! Yeah. Literally and
I-
figuratively. No.
I taught the guys I was playing with what that was. They were like, I was like, you've really never had a hot toddy? I was like, where have you been?
Yeah. By the way, frosted greens are terrible.
Yeah,
To
so-
play
no,
on-
I mean,
yeah.
very
so
that I bet
that
they're
wasn't
delicious.
it did melt over. It was just like a light freeze, and once the sun, that midday sun hit it, it started to
Yeah.
hey, we were warm with the hot toddy, so that's all that
Well,
really
yeah.
mattered.
I mean, hot
Yeah.
toddies are delicious, but again, I feel like that's another BIB's episode.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Hot toddies on the golf course.
Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
just this fall.
Yeah, no, well, I have a summer. I have a summer, I called it a sunset 75 on the course. So basically what this is, it's bubbles of your choice, Prosecco, whatever you like, the gin, because obviously that's what makes it the 75, and then a splash of grapefruit juice, just a little splash, and it creates a little sunset. Before you shake it, it creates a little sunset gradient. But let me tell you, a couple of those, and you'll stop caring less about how good or bad you are
Will you?
on the course. You're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. Sunset 75.
Yeah, sunset 75s
On
on
it.
the course, or hot toddies in the
Okay.
cold weather.
Love it.
One more rapid fire question before we get to our regular
Yeah.
final questions. I've heard that you are a lover of leadership books.
Mhm.
Do you have any that you're reading right now that you recommend, or any that you've read in the past that you can't put down?
What I would recommend is anything by Robert Greene.
Okay.
I find his books fascinating. I listen to a lot of stuff on Audible, so I probably have his entire library. There's a book that is not necessarily a leadership book, but
Mhm.
it is my favorite book. It's The River of Doubt. It's by the author Candace Millard, something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's the story of Teddy Roosevelt after his failed third presidential run for the presidency. He is asked to lead this expedition down the Amazon River. Okay,
Huh.
like literally bushwhack through the
Yeah.
Amazon River. Starts out this huge expedition. You can imagine where the story goes from there. All sorts of bad things happen. He almost dies. He loses 50 pounds. It's a great book to read in terms of perseverance, just strength of mind, strength of character.
Hmm.
It's as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start rereading it again because
I think I'm gonna start reading.
Yeah,
it.
that sounds really
so
good.
The River of Doubt.
The River
Okay.
of Doubt.
All right, we'll have to pick that one up.
Yes.
Barnes and Noble, here I come. All right, and now our final questions that we ask all of our guests. We ask the same ones. I am a big foodie, so I was wondering, what is your favorite restaurant in DC?
Without question, La Diplomat.
Oh,
The mac and cheese is it's a life changer. Okay, I know people are just like, yeah, well, it's pasta and it's just mac and cheese, but I'm like, it's really good because it's always hot.
They
It-
nailed it.
and it's like it's the perfect pasta. And so I'll get two, one for there and then one for second dinner.
That's how you
So-
know it's good.
That's when you
You
yeah.
plan for the leftovers.
Well, it's funny because I remember a couple times doing it. My girlfriend was just like, "Why do you need another?" And I'm like,
let me live.
You're like,
like,
for tomorrow?
"Why?
Duh.
I don't understand your question. Why wouldn't I?
Why not?
Why not?"
Oh, I love that answer so much.
My question is always, what is your favorite place in the city or anywhere really, for getting a good cocktail that has just like the best vibe, ambiance, if you will?
I typically like hotel bars.
Okay.
So I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
So I like the St. Regis. And I know a lot of people say like, oh well, it's kind of stuffy. It's kind of like whatever. But I'm like, yeah, well, that's fine. That's you want to go and have cocktails. You don't want people jumping
Yeah.
all over the place
Jumping in
and
you and-
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want that. I also think there's a place in Eastern Market. It's called the Wells. So I forget the streets and whatnot, but it's near the actual market.
Okay.
Like you've got the market, it's like catty corner across. Fantastic cocktails that are there. Really nice ambiance, kind of like dark, just kind of chill and whatnot. And then I think kind of my newish place, only because the bartenders are absolutely fantastic there. Asteria Maza.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I know it's in Georgetown and I know it's like, you got a lot of tourists and whatnot, but you got to go to the bar. You know what? Sit at the bar, go at lunch on a weekend, maybe not weekday, and like get cocktails because they're fantastic.
I've actually been there. I just had my 1-year anniversary with Tycoon, and for everyone's work anniversaries, our boss will take us out for a special fancy lunch. And so I asked him if he'd take me there, and so we went there, and the food was amazing.
The food's outstanding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I told you I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
It's always going to come back to the food for me, but
I get it.
it's beautiful.
It's really cool.
It's a really
So
neat restaurant.
if you've not, have you been?
I have not been yet. It's just one of those I just can't get over there. I'm not
Yeah.
in Georgetown. I have to I haven't been yet.
I mean,
haven't been yet.
I live just
You know,
outside of it, and I don't enjoy.
I
going to
make my
Georgetown.
way to go through everything
I
new
love
in
going to
DC, but I just haven't made my way over there.
Well, it's the old Dina DeLuca spot, so if
Yeah.
you remember that, but
It's
it
an
is
iconic location.
it's cool.
It's a beautiful building. What they've done with the inside it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chef's kiss.
Still need to go. Well, maybe we should head there now.
No, no, I think it's
Not
we've decided.
To go to Joe's.
We've
For those of you
decided,
who know,
Brenda.
you know.
Joe's, do you want to be a sponsor of season 2?
Please.
Joe's Stone Crap.
Yeah, because I love it there.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much, Todd.
you.
For
Thank
for
you, guys.
joining us on the show. It felt like we're just sitting in the living room chatting with a friend.
Yeah.
Well, the fern. I like it. Thank you guys very much. This was awesome. I appreciate it.